What does that say? Stop recording. Okay, we're live. Live. Okay, live. Did you get a little live symbol at the top
I
right?
did.
Okay. Um, okay. Let me take a peek out at Safari here. I mean to YouTube. Yeah, oh, it's getting ready. Play. Okay. Okay, so it's working on YouTube. So if it's working on YouTube, I'm going to assume that we might have somebody watching. And at that, we'll just go forward, and if nothing else, we'll have 2 hours of fun and more fun, I guess, right? So anyway, I mentioned that the topic, or we had talked about recently the topics of Google Hangouts, and um, I had mentioned not using Flash and not using Adobe Reader on my Mac because I don't like their constant updates and things. So there's ways of doing it, and that's one of the other things we're going to do. Anyway, we have Bob and I have tested this out a little bit, and if you went to one of the links that was on YouTube, you could see the actual test video that was stored there from last Friday. And we did find out that there is a long delay between the live broadcast. Anybody that's actually involved in the live broadcast uh, it is real time for them. It's just that in the translation to YouTube video in real time, it takes about 45 to 60 seconds. So that becomes a problem with trying to do questions and answers. So what we have set up is that you can text my um, my phone, which is 352-205-1555, for any questions that you have, and it's going to take a minute or so for us to even know that we have something, and then I have to go look for it, or that you could send it through email to, I think I put jreitz@mac.com. So if you would use those to try to communicate with us, we will try to get the question on included in the video with hopefully between Bob and I, and if we have others join, um, see if we can get an answer. Uh, Also here, I'm just going to go ahead and switch to Bob because he's sitting in LaGrange Park. You're in LaGrange Park,
Right.
LaGrange Park, Illinois, um, where many of you know where that is, and I'm down in the Villages, Florida, which is in Central Florida, north of Orlando. Um, when we originally started, Bob and I were working on this. Bob was working with his iPad, and he had, if I recall, you had a little problem trying to get your audio to come out. Do you remember what you had to solve that?
I didn't really solve it. Basically, what I did went back to my MacBook Pro, and that's
Okay, that's right.
working very good. And I can see you well, and I guess you can see me well too.
Yeah, it's good, and we'll see how the recording comes out after we're done. I noticed the recording. I didn't notice the audio being too bad when we were actually doing it last Friday, but it left a little bit to be desired from what I listened to just before starting this meeting.
It's
So anyway,
much better. The audio is much.
well, hopefully the recorded one will be better. And also just, I don't remember if I said this or not, I know that we are broadcasting almost live on YouTube, but anybody that wants to participate with the actual meeting itself, we can have up to 10 people logged into to Hangouts at one time, and I think if you're a school teacher, you can have 16 or something. But anyway, so far there's only 2 of us, and I've got 2 of me and 1 of Bob, because I've got my iPhone over here. That's my iPhone over. That's the iPhone view there, and then this is my Mac view. So anyway, we did have. We can see that there is an advantage to having meetings like this for a number of reasons. One, that it's recorded, and for those who weren't able to make the meeting, they might be watching right now on YouTube. We don't know. We'll see if we can find statistics afterwards. I can tell you that right now it's only Bob and I that are in this meeting, but if there are people that do want to join, and Bob has a phone call coming in. Is that a question?
I don't know. Well, I'll check it.
All right, Bob's going to check that out.
Hello? Who? This is an incorrect number. Wrong number.
Okay, darn. Thought we had our first call.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
So anyway.
So.
Oh, okay. So anyway, one of the things that the Google Hangouts is really good for is having impromptu meetings that are active, that we can do an awful lot of things. For instance, for those who may have noticed, some has taken quite a while to notice, my mom included, that I no longer have a mustache. One of the things I can do in here is to actually put a mustache back on. Let me get this. If I can get this to cooperate. Right there. Okay. So now I have my mustache back on. Well, a little different than it was, but it's still there. And there's kind of a lot of funny things I can do if I wanted to be patriotic. I can do this. If I wanted to have a king's hat, I can do this. Party hat. So I can get all dressed up for the meetings. It's kind of a fun thing. Anyway, there are actually creative things that you can do with this and to make things better. But of course, the big thing is that it records for those that are on trips. I was just going to I invited Phil, but I think Phil's out of the country, isn't he?
Right, yes. He's in somewhere, Ireland.
Ireland? Okay.
I believe.
Well, he could have been participating.
He's in Scotland.
Yeah, if he can find a computer, he could actually participate. So.
Right.
Anyway. So anyway, the Google Hangouts, one of the things that is going to be very difficult for me to show is what the screen looks like. I will actually start showing the screen, sharing my screen, and we'll see how good it is. But because it's going to be showing itself to itself, you'll see that it's going to be like the Funhouse, where it just keeps going and going and going. But what I can show, what I really want to show is what's on the left side here. If I wanted to do a chat, there actually is a chat area over here. I wish I could just blank this middle out, but there's a chat over here where people can text back and forth. There's the screen share, which I just when I started this. Let me do this again. Maybe I can't show that. Yeah, I can't show this little chooser thing that shows. It gives me a number of choices, whether just to do the window or to do the whole screen. But I've got that capability. Also at the top here, I can invite people. I can mute my microphone. I can turn the camera off. Oh, let me see. That doesn't help. I can change the bandwidth. I have good bandwidth here, so it shouldn't be a problem. And then there's some other settings here, and then I can just leave the call. Then there's showcase, and I believe this is if I wanted to add an item into this video, I can do that here. Add an item from a website, whether it be a picture or video. I can also capture, and it's down here. Down at the bottom. There's a much like on the Apple product. I was going to say front page, but that's not it. Where you take the pictures. Anyway, you can do that here to take pictures of things.
iPhoto?
No. Photo booth.
Okay.
Photo booth. And in the cameraman, there are things that you can do. There are just some options here. And then you saw me do the drawing, putting the let me close this. Putting the face on. Let me see here. Okay, let me see. Let me do this again. Share the screen. Just the Hangout screen. Share. Okay, let's try that again. It just blinks and then it goes away. So I can't show that. The Hangout toolbox. This is where I put in the lower third. Was at the bottom. I can type in 2 lines to put in there, and I can actually save it. Although last time it didn't save. And then there's a control room where I can change. If I didn't want to listen to Bob, I could actually mute him out here, or I can actually turn his video off, and it'll go back to his picture, his home picture, and I can change his volume on here. And the same thing I can do. This is with my iPhone, so I have the control to do much of almost everything. Let me turn this. Okay. Let me see if I can get this big. Okay. So that control room's kind of handy. Then there is a remote desktop. I'm not going to click this because it'll actually, what this is intended for is to let somebody see my desktop, let Bob see my desktop. But what I'm doing right now is sharing it. And then I can also add additional items in here. One is YouTube, so I can play a YouTube video. Google Effects, it's downloading the app. I didn't should have done that before. And then Google Docs, if you have, for instance, I have Google Docs, and see, I've got documents in Google Docs, but not in, of course, not with this account. But so I can display the whatever documents I have in here also, including those with the Sketchpad too, which for collaborating projects and stuff is really great. Okay, so let me cancel that. And there are other apps that can be added. As far as I know, they're all free, so there's all sorts of things you can add in here. So if you do have a buddy to partner up with, I would definitely try to experiment with some of those items. I'm going to hide this window, and I want to go to see what's going on our YouTube page, and I had stopped this, and let me see what's going on here. Okay. Okay, so that's, oh, here, oh, I didn't see this. It says be part of the, click here to be part of the audience on Hangouts. So there's something else there. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so that's trying to get me in. And then I had enabled a question and answer thing. This is probably showing, is not showing for a reason. But I will see. Let me do this. We're going to come back to this shortly. Questions. Well, we'll have to experiment with that later. Anyway, so there is a way there to do that, and I can give myself a thumbs up. And then I can also share this with other people too. So let's go back to the Hangouts. I do this too fast sometimes. You may see this pop up every once in a while, and it's all the applications that are currently running on my computer. The address book, Safari, and Chrome. And the way to, and I use this a lot because I will go between programs just by Command Tab, and I can just go between them like that. So it's, you hold on the Command key and hit Tab, it pops this up, and the most current, which is in Chrome, is to the left, and the second most current is Safari, which is the second from the left, and then Contacts is the third recent one that I've been using. So that's in that order, and I can just keep hitting the Tab button while I continue to hold down Command and just cycle through those. I can also just use my mouse. I'm still holding Command key down and click on them like that. I can also, what's even cooler, is I can come up here, and while I'm here, I can just do Command Q, and it'll actually quit that application, which is kind of cool. Anyway, I use that an awful lot. So let me just double check to see if we got any questions coming in. Whoops, all boxes. We could have something here. No. No. Okay, let me go back to messages. Okay, nope, nothing there. We're still on our own here, Bob.
Okay.
But we might have, let me see what, I don't think we can tell. I don't think we can tell how many people are watching this because it's not on our account. Let me see if I can see that here. Close this. I'm going to go to, let me make a new tab. I'm going to go to YouTube. I'm going to search for DuPage AUG, and you will find our, oh, you can't see this. Okay, let me go back to here, and let me start the sharing again differently. Share screen, okay. All right, let me hide this now. You're not seeing my screen, are you?
No, all I'm saying is I see your iCamera, your iPhone, and me, and it says DuPage plus over there on that.
What did I do? Did I do something? Can we stop sharing?
There we go.
Okay, let me do this. Let me get rid of this. Get rid of that. Okay, let me try sharing the screen again.
It's there. You're on.
Right. Okay. I'm going to share. See what happens here. Huh. Okay, let me do that again. Let me stop sharing. Let me share. See, I actually want to share which screen? I want to share. Google Plus. Google Plus. Huh. Should be doing the whole screen share.
You went down. Went to black.
Okay. Well, this was working the other day.
You were up just for a few minutes, and then it went to black when you changed what you just did.
All right, was something.
Oh, this dog in the middle of it now.
Yeah, well, I'm turning my video on and off, but I don't know. Let's see, I got something going. Turn. Okay, so I'm live. Right? No. Okay, let me go back to here. Oops, that's my phone. There we go. Okay, so I'm there, right?
Correct.
Okay, let me go back to the screen. Share. Nuts. Oh, there. Oh, it just took a while. Okay, so here you're saying uh, uh, Safari right now. Oh, you can't quite see the. Boy, that's cutting off a lot of the video. Oh, can you see the menu bar on this?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I just can't see it on the. There we go. I couldn't see it on my phone because it was sideways. Let me see if I can get it to stay there.
Yeah, that's nice screen share there.
Okay, so anyway, the other part of this. Well, now I don't. There was a little bit of a glitch there in getting the screen to share. Normally, it would do the entire um, screen, or you can do a specific window. And I was trying to do the screen, but the Safari didn't transfer over there, but it just took a little bit. It was a little delayed, I guess. Oops. Let me see. I'm just going to go check for questions. Doesn't seem. Wait. Oh, Marianne. 5 watching.
Hi, Marianne.
Hi, Marianne. I think I set you. Thank you for that. So at least I know there's somebody watching. Um, and I did send you I think I sent Marianne an invitation to actually join. I know she has a Google account, but maybe not a Gmail address, but she has a Google account because she's on our she's participates with our Google group. So I'm pretty sure that she has one. Anyway, if you hear this a minute from now or a minute ago, whichever way that works, and you want, look to see if I should have sent you an invitation. Anyway, the other thing that I wanted to mention or talk about, because I mentioned this at the end of last meeting, and Phil was one of the few that picked up on it. But I had mentioned that I don't use Flash. Well, how does that happen? Well, let me see if I can find a site that uses Flash. Oh, that could be like YouTube. Normally, if you go to a YouTube, which these are mostly Flash based, let me see if I can find something here. Well, if you ever want to waste some time, oh here we got an iPad thing here. Okay, now one of the things that I do is I have this develop menu, and the way to get that develop menu on Safari is you go to Safari Preferences, and you go to Advanced, and you click on your Show Develop Menu in Menu Bar. Okay, and it goes up here. Now I also have a debug window that has to be turned on by a secret terminal command, but that's not really what we need to cover. One of the things that is in here, there's two things. One, let me explain one thing. I do not have Flash installed on here, and I can do that in the Help menu. Go in Safari, look at the installed plugins, and we will see that I've got Dymo, Flip for Mac, Google Talk, Harmony plugin, that's for the Harmony Remote, Java. This is the Logitech is also for the Logitech makes the Harmony, so they kind of go hand in hand. QuickTime, Silverlight, and that's soon to be going away, and a plugin that downloads files faster called Speed Download, and that's it. There is no Adobe anything in here. So the thing is that normally you would need to do that. You would need to have Flash on here to run the Flash videos and or Flash advertisements or things, because a lot of stuff is Flash based. Well, one of the things that's in here is a user agent, and whenever a web browser goes to a web page, they say they are, normally Safari would say I'm Safari 7 running Mac OS, and actually you can see it right here. It's Mac OS 10.9. You can see it in that little tool bar that just popped out there. And they won't stay out there, but this Safari 6, it shows that I'm running Mac OS 10.8.4. Now the interesting thing about this is I have been to websites that have said, well, you got to have Internet Explorer or nothing. You're not going to do anything. Well, and they kick you out, and there's absolutely no reason on many sites to do that other than the programmers are just
lazy.
No, they actually have to go out of their way to do this. They have to go out and say, we're Microsoft, we're in a Microsoft church, so we're going to not let the Mac people in, and Unix people, and Linux people, and we don't want any iOS people in there. We we're just not going to do it. So, and this I say that, I mean, it doesn't, very rare that that happens, but it still does. But I have, starting up early on the Mac, there were times that my bank, I with Citibank or with Chase at the time, I don't remember. They when Safari first came out, they wouldn't allow it to go in to access your bank stuff, so you had to use something else. Most of the time, the something else was Firefox. But here, this gives you the ability to pretend that your Internet Explorer running Windows, whatever can run Windows 8, I mean, Internet Explorer 8 can run on, or you can be Google Chrome on Mac or Windows, or you can be Firefox on Mac or Windows. And it just tricks. I mean, it's really funny because everything just kind of works. Now, with things that have transpired over the last 4 years or so, is HTML5 is becoming popular on throughout all the web pages and computers that are allowing videos and interactive videos with a lot of options to take the place of Flash. And because if you come to this page with an iPad, you don't have any problem. I don't have any problem on here anymore, but sometimes this would actually show that it would show HTML5 in the middle. And I don't know if these are all that way. But if you ever want to see something silly, you can spend days watching Russian drivers. It's like every other car has a dash cam, and they crash them like crazy. But this has actually evolved because when I was first coming here, within the last month it has changed. It would come up and say HTML5, and you'd have to click on it, then it would start. Well, so this YouTube has gotten smart and made the HTML5 version the first try, the first attempt, instead of saying, well, you got to have Flash or else. And when it would happen, I would go to user agent and just say that I'm an iPad. Because most of the time the iPad, they all have an iPad version of it, which is HTML5. But the Mac can do that automatically, and it's less headaches for me, as far as I'm concerned, to do that. Also, if you do get to a page, and I'm trying to think of where I have a page, let's go to let's see, Mac Central. Yes. See, even they're just in the last month, things have really changed in many sites that are not requiring Flash. Let me see if I can find something here.
Well, there's a pause there, Jim. I'll just say I've got rid of Reader and almost everything.
Go ahead. We'll say it again. We lost your audio, Bob. Let me. We lost your audio. There you are. There you are. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, I just say I use Preview instead of Adobe Reader because I think it works better.
Well, that's the rest that's coming next. Um,
Okay.
let me go back into here. Let me see. Okay, so like sometimes I'm just going to say let's pretend that this one just isn't working. Well, that's where this top part here is saying that, well, I've got all these programs say that they can actually run a web page, but I know for a fact that Google Chrome, Firefox would use the plugin that would be installed for Safari. Google Chrome, on the other hand, has Flash built into it. So if I get to a page that doesn't work in Safari as a iPad, I just use that link to just get me over into Chrome. And I mean, there's a reason why Chrome is version 36 and Safari is 7. Okay, and part of the reason that anytime there is an update for Adobe Flash, Google has to update. I mean, Google has to update Chrome because they got to get it out there, and that's okay. This updates behind the scenes. You just start it and it updates, and it's okay as far as I'm concerned. Now, what Bob was mentioning was about Adobe Reader, and Adobe Reader is used um, to let me see if I can find a PDF file. Um, Adobe has, I mean, going back a little history here, Adobe came up with the PDF, which is portable document format, and they came out with it, I don't know, 20 some years ago, maybe 30 years ago, close to 30 years ago, and um, they have oh, I've got a folder of PDFs here. They have um, they had the market cornered on doing um, these documentations. Before, Microsoft had Word, but not everybody had Word, so they came out with RTF, which is rich text format, and that was kind of okay, but it wasn't. It still allowed people to change things, and PDFs were nice because they didn't allow people to readily easily change things. It can be changed, but they didn't. Um, and for instance, if this is for my mom's old television, the instruction manual. Today you can get it. I can put it on my phone. I can put it on my iPad. I can read it on either one of those. Instructions for my camera. Um, how to connect things up. It's all in here. And I can, for instance, I may want to, here's a note that I may want to highlight in a color. Oh, here, highlight it in whatever color I want. So I can actually, mark off sections of places. I can actually add notes in here also. But that's what Preview does. Preview is Apple's program that runs, loads PDF files, but it does much more because it also does it does JPEGs, PDF, any graphic. Let me find a graphic here. Let's say that I wanted to change the size. That's an obvious thing. I can just actually come in here and crop this like this if I wanted, and then I can just say to crop. I can, if I wanted to annotate it, I can put a message on here, and I can also draw a line like this, and I can come down to here. That's Donna, and I can put an arrow on here on that end or the other end. Can make it bigger, make it a different color. Oops, I missed it. Okay, so I can do an awful lot of things here just with preview. I can also save it as or export it as a number of things, different resolution. I can make it into a JPEG, PNG, TIFF. But one of the interesting things, you're seeing me, Bob? You're seeing my screen?
Okay. No, I'm seeing you on your iPhone.
Oh, you're not seeing my screen?
I'm seeing the screen with you're doing, yes. That's real clear.
Okay, good.
Oh, you're saying you're showing the JPEG with Donna.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm waiting for this to stop doing what it's trying to do here. But one of the other problems is that when Adobe, when you download, if you go to Adobe, and if you do have some reason that you have to install this, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do a Google search for Adobe Reader because you will frequently, or you may find that there are places such as CNET, which I thought would have been right at the top, but these sites like this File Hippo, you don't want to go there. That's not where you want to go. You always want to, no matter what program you're doing, you don't want to go to a site other than Adobe, because it's mostly for the Windows people. There's too many bad guys, oddballs out there that are trying to get you to download their version of it, and it may be infected here like CNET. I absolutely detest CNET because they do this, and it just anyway. But anyway, you go to Adobe or whoever the manufacturer is to download something. One of the things that they have moved this now, because it used to be, oh, here it is right here, Acrobat. And I don't think that's actually what it is. It used to be called Acrobat Reader, then they changed it to Adobe Reader, and it used to be down here in the right corner, but let's see what happens here. Yeah, see, yeah, they're trying to sell. This is like a $500 product. This is free. Get Adobe Reader. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and see. They wanted you to do Lightroom at the same time, so I'm just go ahead and do this install. And one of the things that they will not tell you in this installer, used to be an option to not install the plugin for um, it's actually for Firefox and Safari. Okay. But I have had many times, and Bob, didn't you have the same problem where you went to a bank or something, got a statement, and it was all black?
Yes.
Yeah. And the reason is because it was Adobe Reader's plugin for Safari that was causing the problem. Um, just cancel this. It actually downloaded a little download program, and now it's trying to download it and finish installing this. We'll come back to that in a little bit. But anyway, one cool thing is this picture doesn't really isn't the best picture to make this as an example, but if I wanted to, I can have
My son.
okay.
He's in Yosemite National Park.
Anyway, what I can do is if I wanted to put a different background, if I wanted to if I wanted to remove this color and put it over a sky background, I can actually take this instant alpha, and I can just kind of drag down here, and all that red part that's going away. I'm just going to be kind of careful here. Oh, okay. So all of that is, yes, I got part of her face there. Let me try that again. Boy, why is this so slow? Okay, so let me try again. I'll just take a little bit of that. So I'm just going to delete that. Now I want to convert to a PNG, which does support transparency. So I can come down here and just keep whittling away all these pieces. And I can actually copy this and paste it on top of a picture of Lake Michigan or something in the background, and that's what you'll see, the skyline in the background. Again, this picture doesn't warrant it's too busy in the background, but you can see what I can do here. And so now there was absolutely no options here. And they used to make you restart, turn off. They can't get you to go to the right page. Okay, so let's go into the installed plugins and see what we got here. Here we go. Okay. So it used to have to quit Safari and Firefox and your system preferences if it was open. And that's interesting because they used to have Adobe was in here, Adobe Reader. So now the problem is that where is this and how do I make it go away? And it's in, if I go back over to Finder, and if I go to my library, now I've got all my hidden files folders shown here, so that I shouldn't have done that. But I go into my library, and I can go into Internet Plugins, and it's not there. So I'm going to go to, I'm actually going to go, I need to go to right to the computer drive. There's another library, and there's another Internet Plugins, and here we have the two plugins that were put in there. So I'm just going to delete those. It actually installed this and didn't require me to enter a password. That has never done that before, so they're getting worse. So if I reload this, we see that the Adobe is gone. Anyway, it will, in every instance I've seen where people had problems with, they had it installed, they didn't realize that it was also that was Adobe Readers installed here. I'm just going to throw that away. So it installed two things and didn't require me to put a password in. That shouldn't have happened. Anyway, let me check, see if we get any questions here. No questions. An email. Okay. Whoops. Right. Oh. Okay. For some reason, I'm now getting voiceover voice garbled. I can't find your invite. I restart. Okay. So she said she's restarting our voice is okay. Good. Glad to hear that. Let me send you another invite. Go to Chrome. I'm going to go into Google Hangouts and come into here and all right, let me do this. Let me go back over to get her email address. See, I don't think I used her Comcast, but let me see. She has on her Google, let me go in here. Okay, I'm going to send her both. So I'm going to send her the Comcast. Send it right. Okay. And oh, not this one. My groups, DuPage, board, manage. This one. Oh, that is the same one. Okay, so all right, I'm going to send it again to your Comcast, and that should be coming from DuPage AUG at gmail.com. Okay. Invite. Okay, so you should be getting that invitation, and if you accept it, you will pop in here down at the bottom. Okay, so let me hide this away. And let me put this away too. This away. This away. Quit that. And I quit this. And what I was going to do was take Adobe Reader out of the trash just to show you the differences. Adobe Reader can, let me get that same document here. PDFs. Okay, so this is the same document. I'm going to open with Adobe Reader. Okay, we got to agree to the terms. Do not show this message again. No. Okay. Now, So right away, it's trying to do something I hadn't even thought about. Why would I want to convert this to Word or Excel? I mean, I wouldn't even think about doing this to Excel. Would you? I don't know. Anyway, so we're, I'm not an expert at Adobe Reader. I know that I used to create PDF reports through a computer, and I did test a lot between Preview and Adobe Reader. Windows people don't have a choice. It's just Adobe Reader. But one of the things that I did find that that Adobe Reader had that Pages or Preview didn't have was something I'm not seeing here anymore. It was layers. And the good thing about layers, for me anyway, is that you could actually, geez, I don't know if I have any documents left, was that that I could actually have reports that had overlays, that I could turn some of the overlays on and off, whether they're, you know, maybe I'll have some markup, you know, to show where a house is on a map, and then you could turn that off and have it show the addresses or color different sections of a map. I mean, it was kind of cool, and I was kind of surprised that a Preview didn't support it. But now it looks like I don't even see anything about layers here. So that's unfortunate, because that was really kind of a cool. Oh, here we go, layers. They got it buried. And so this has no layers. Anyway, I don't know if I may be able to do some markup things here, but I don't believe that I can actually open open this as, or save this out as a. See, I can only save it as a PDF. On the if I went into, let me open that same document in okay, same document. I open the same document in Preview. Open the Preview. I can actually save this as, export it as, or save it as, but I can do it as a JPEG, PNG, or TIFF. And I will tell you that there have been times that I've received a PDF that was malformed. It had, because PDFs are actually PostScript language files, and I've run into programs on the PC which were not Adobe Acrobat. They were programs that claimed to make Adobe PDF files, but they were malformed, and sometimes I could see them, but it wouldn't print. And I never, and what I would have to do is do a save as or an export as a PNG or a TIFF, and do it at 600 dots per inch, and it would print out real nice. Anyway, that's one of the reasons why I like it. It's lightweight. It comes with the system. It gets updated automatically. I don't have this nagging persistent thing that Adobe wants to update my programs, because they need to update them because they get broken into frequently. So
Yes, another thing, Jim.
Yep.
Um, I have well, you started out with PageMaker, then it became InDesign, and that's what I did my Sunday bulletins on. But I found out that Reader, the margins and for the gutter in the middle and the folding section was not very good, and I changed to Preview and 100%.
Wow. And I mean they've actually Adobe has actually put the format. It's not a proprietary format anymore. They did put it out into the public domain um, to use it. Um, and there are a number of programs that are out there that are using it or making their own. But just because they can make some of it, they don't always make them complete. Let me see if okay, no more message, no more emails. I don't see any messages yet. So let me go back to Chrome here and into our YouTube. Okay, it's still showing. There's a live channel. There's 6 watching. That's cool. We're getting popular. We've had a 20% increase in the last half hour. That's huge. Okay, so maybe I'm starting a club in Lady Lake, an Apple club in Lady Lake, and I want to do the same kind of thing because we're having a little issue with trying to find a meeting location. The library, unlike what Oakbrook does, they charge for the meetings here and for the rentals, and it's right now I've got to get, and then we're having this little dispute as far as whether you're residents or non-residents, and because they've got 2 different price structures, so they want to have. So I'm trying to build up a membership, just an online membership, and try to have some of these online meetings here. And I will definitely, if that happens, I will definitely make Dog available to join in on these meetings too, because it's probably be interesting. Let me go back to here. Did you have any questions about Reader or Flash or anything?
I just found the section of going into the documents, Safari, and doing the being able to conclude in, because occasionally I run across a site that says only will read Adobe Reader, and I can change that now. I think with a little memory, and it'll read it.
Right. There are sites that are pretty persistent in trying to convince you that you absolutely have to have Adobe Reader, and those sites that have links. Let me go. I was looking for a test. PDF test file. Sometime. Okay. This is the Apple plugin. I should have left the other one in. Now open it in preview and then save it to disk in your downloads file. Let me see if I can find a what sometimes happens is that you get to a page. Okay, so maybe these are okay. Forms, printable, fillable. These are fillable forms. Now there was a time that Adobe Reader was required to use to fill in forms, but that's no longer. See. Okay, so here we go. Right away they're telling you that you got to do this. Now, let me see if I can remember how to trick this. Open save linked file as. Okay. I've got my window too big here. Oh. Okay. All right, well, I'm just going to save that on my desktop. I can't see the buttons at the bottom. That's what I was trying to do. I'll just save it. Okay. If you get into an issue with like that where, oh, no, that I just downloaded it. Let's see what we got here. Well, let's look on my desktop. Desktop. Same thing. Okay, now watch. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see if we can pretend for an iPad. Well, sometimes there may be a need to have it, but if you did have to have the reader, I would definitely not. Well, and they're looking to have the plugin, so because they want to display it right here. That's too bad. See that there's no reason. Well, there's no reason to do that. That have that requirement because. Let me see if I can, because the Florida, I just filled in an application for my mom. For her to get her handicap form. I did it right online using Preview. So I don't know. Some sites they're not. They need to be just need to complain to them that that's not necessary. But it happens, and sometimes you got to download it and install it to do what you got to do, and then not uninstall it once you're done. Okay. But most places are smart enough to where they will download the files, no problems. And in the case where there is a link, you can right-click on it and see if I can find the link here. Nothing there. You can right-click on it and you'll get some options like to download to the downloads or save it as something. This is an image, so that it's coming up with different options here. But And you can also option click on it, and it should just download it. That's what happened when this one popped in here. Oh. Okay. Let me get. No, let me turn my. Okay. Was I sharing a screen there, or was my video going?
I saw you on there.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, okay. Running out of battery.
I got to change positions this year.
Okay. I got my phone off. Okay. Well, do you have any questions or comments about anything that we need to do?
Okay. What about the? I've been seeing some pictures of the iPhone 6, and also some information about iOS 8 coming out. Your thoughts on that?
Well, iOS 8 and Yosemite are coming out later this year. The if you actually had there was a period of time where anybody could get into the beta program and download the beta for Yosemite. The problem is that Yosemite and iOS 8 are so connected that it's almost not worth doing one without doing the other. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't done it. I did download it. I put it on an external drive, played with it a little bit to find out how different. A lot of people say, well, the sky is falling. Everything's so different. It's not that different. I think in many cases it's easier, simplified. There's more white space. There's less congestion, I think, on iOS, on Yosemite anyway. On iOS, I haven't really had a chance to thoroughly go through it, but I know there's a lot of features that have come from the Mac. They're starting to get closer together without sacrificing stuff on the Mac, which is a big thing. And for some people, it's kind of those people who have been on Macs for a long time have different thoughts about where iOS and the Mac should go. And I don't know why exactly. I think that the Mac is a lot is easy to use, but I've just gotten accustomed to it. The way the Finder works and things like that. It's gotten so sophisticated, I think, that there's so many little things that are not apparent sometimes until you try it. And I was just going to show something here. So let me go back to sharing my screen.
I heard that that most of the work is making it simplified, and they've done a lot of work under the hood to make it better.
Oh, I'm sure. The memory management, for instance, I know that that's working better. You're going to be able to not have to have 100 gigabytes of memory to run 20 applications at the same time. But one of the things this is in here today. If there's a couple ways I can actually copy something and move. If I wanted to copy this folder out onto my desktop, I could just right now it's going to want to make a shortcut. But if I hold down the Option key, I can get the plus sign. That'll make a copy. But one thing that I ran across, and this is I've got two of them. That's interesting. Is another way that you can do copy You can go to copy it, and you can go down to the desktop here, and you can click paste. Well, it'll copy and paste it, but there's actually some options here, and I ran across this one where if I'm holding the option key down, it says move item here. In addition, if I also hold down a shift key, it says paste item exactly. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means paste it exactly, including the permissions and things. And sometimes it does make a difference, especially if you're copying something from one drive to another drive. It may make sense to copy and paste exactly so that you get all these little hidden things that are in here. It's probably not going to be something that's normally needed, but if I wanted to copy my system, or my user account or something like that, yeah, I'd probably want to say to paste exactly, because all these little invisible files probably wouldn't go with it. Only the visible ones would. But anyway, the Yosemite has features. Let's just go take a look. Before I get too far, I do want to make one comment about backing up. Although I think we talked about backing up not too awful long ago. We have a member whose and this is not you, Bob, this is somebody else, who's has a time capsule, but they're not close to it right now. And they have an external hard drive, which was used for Time Machine, and their internal their computer won't start. It is under AppleCare. It won't start. And I said, well, let's look at your external drive on your other computer to see how current the backup was, because I know that the time capsule one was a couple months old because they weren't close to that. They were out of town, and so we put the external onto the other computer, and it won't mount. So her main computer won't run. Their external hard drive won't run, and they're miles away from their time capsule. So they do have Crash Plan on that, and I had forgotten to actually log in to their account to see where that is, but that would still take quite a long time to restore. I've actually tried it. It would take. I've got a hard drive that's got it's a 500 gig drive, and it was almost full, and it would take 10 days to restore.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's all got to download. It's 470 gigabytes of data that's got to be transferred over the internet. You know, it's a lot. But anyway, what I was going to do here, we were going to go look at. We were going to go look at. iOS 8. Apple is continuing their journey trying to minimize the interface on the iPhones and iPads to basically give you the most room for actually viewing things, whether they be charts or stuff, and that's going to continue going forward also. A better way of dealing with photos. One of the things that has been I there was a movie. There's a movie called Sex Tape, and it's kind of a comedy that could have been a lot funnier. It started out okay, and then it didn't get so funny. But it was. I mean, it's kind of a reality thing because they said, well, nobody knows where the cloud is, and I when I was talking with my wife about it, I says, well, everybody knew what a server was, and they knew that if there was a server in in Montana, that it was in a building and it was secure and away from the bad guys and stuff, and it was just a server. But as soon as they named that same thing a cloud, it just stumped everybody, and it became this vague thing um, that nobody could deal with apparently as much. But anyway, Apple is now making the iPhone, the iCloud library, kind of a better place because you're going to be able to store more of all of your photos there, and instead of just some of them. It's gonna kind of, I think it's gonna wind up making the connection between your photos on iPhoto on your Mac and iPhoto or photos on your iOS device work better and consistently. Apparently, iPhoto and Aperture are going away. A new program called Photos is going to come in, take their place, and I think it will be. There's been a lot of people that are upset because they spent some money on Aperture, but I think they're going to find that it's going to be a better thing going forward with the new program. They're going to have a better keyboard where it will actually, as you are typing, it's going to start suggesting words, so you can pick them out of this little band that's going across here. Family sharing. This is huge because one of the things that has always been plagued everybody. Everybody had, the husband, wife, the girlfriend, the boyfriend, the sister, the brother. They all had their own iCloud account, and they were all buying applications and stuff and weren't able to connect them. Well, now anybody using the same, it all pivots around one credit card. The credit card will connect multiple accounts together. So that's kind of a great thing for sharing all sorts of information, purchases and stuff.
Okay, question. The old Comcast Apple ID where I have about a year's worth of music on it, will that be integrated also?
Your Apple ID that looks like a Comcast email address is an Apple ID. It's not a Comcast email address anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can, it's my understanding that you can actually change that ID.
Great.
You can well, I mean, this is today you could do that. You can add a different email address. Now, is that associated with your Mac.com?
Yeah, well, it's an old one that I had when I had Comcast. When I dropped it, when .Mac came out, I changed my Apple ID, and everything had to be given permission to that old program. Have to toggle back and forth.
Well, I'm going to say probably not. It's not going to join two accounts, but it's going to allow. Well, I don't know. We'll have to see, because it's going to allow up to 6 people. Family sharing makes it easy for up to 6 people in your family to share each other's iTunes, iBooks, and App Store purchases. So, yeah, I'm going to say yes. It probably will help you. Also, those of us that have been around long enough to where we had a .Mac account, we also had a iDisk, and that iDisk, which was very helpful for getting information between your devices, um, is now coming back under the name of iCloud Drive. And it's going to be similar to what many of us have moved to, is either Google Drive or to Dropbox or both. And we will now have that capability of having 5 gigabytes of disk space available for free. And the interesting thing is, if you've got a gigantic file that you want to email somebody that you've never been able to do in the past because it was too big, it will be integrated within Mail. When you go to send the file, it'll say, do you want to put this on the iCloud Drive and share it? And then it will do that. And then you're just emailing the link. The prices of this, I don't know if they have them listed here. They were less than half of what I don't see the prices. What they had in their keynote, the prices were far less than half of what Google Drive and Dropbox were charging. So it was very, very reasonable to be able to store stuff on. In iOS 8, Apple is becoming very health conscious, of course, and they are integrating apps with, I'm going to say, different kinds of devices, including bands. I have a Jawbone 24 band that monitors my sleep and my steps. But I'd like to see what else is going on here, because I'm getting to the point where I'm just now starting. The light is going on that I need to be healthy, or I should have been healthy for the past 60-some years, healthier. Anyway, but so that there's going to be some help there for those that want to get some activities.
Yeah, I use a program called iHealth, and I keep all my heart stuff on there,
Yep.
and I have a that'll integrate part of that also.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how that all works out, because I've got a I want to say Porsche, but another band that monitors my only my pulse rate, and but I think there's going to be more devices coming out to where you don't have to have 14 different armbands on you to measure different things. So it'll be one band that does it all. The other thing that's coming in is that iPhone, iPads, and the Mac are all going to be connected in a fashion that if you start a project, whether it be an email or a Pages document on one device, you just go on to it. You can just carry that right on to the next one, and just keep working on whatever device is in front of you. It's kind of cool. Spotlight is better on a phone than it had been. That's the SDK. That's most of the. That's only like 6 things out of hundreds messages. Oh yeah, you can add voice. You can add a little voice message in with messaging, which is like making a short telephone call. Anyway, I'm not sure the need about that, but there's going to be different ways of controlling things and sending things. Much like this big button here is kind of like a big dial. The controls are going to be enhanced to make it easier to be able to use with one hand and a thumb, hand, and a finger, or something like that. There are rumors about an iPhone 6. Let me see. Um, go here. They've also been um, that's that's interesting. The problem with the USB connectors is there's one side is up. Now they're working on something that's more like the Lightning connector on the iPhone and iPad, where it goes either way. That makes kind of like more sense. Um,
I saw that this morning.
yeah. Um, okay. So rumors give the iPhone 6 1 gig of RAM. Okay. But there was another one here. If I have to find it, probably fell off here. Let me go back over. Huh.
The Calta Mac had obsessive pictures of a new
Oh,
iPhone.
This claims to have some parts of the iPhone 6, but I had read some, and I thought it was on here. There was, they're not even sure it's going to be called an iPhone 6. Um, and a 5.5-inch version. But I've heard pros and cons, and in all honesty, I just kind of wait to see what comes out, because there's a lot of people that have been waiting for a new Apple TV. I mean, an Apple TV that it was actually a screen, not just like the Apple TV we got here. I never thought that Apple would get into the TV business, but making what they make, yes, and they need to expand it. They actually are expanding it quite a bit. With they added Crackle, which is it's movies, more recent movies that are free, and you only have to watch a 15, 30-second TV commercial for less. It's much less than what you do if you watch it on a regular television. But this particular website is Mac News Network, MacNN.com. I don't know. Do you go here, Bob?
Yeah, I lost my call for a second, but I've already.
Yep.
Okay, okay, there we go. I'm back on.
Okay. Did you, Marianne, ever get in? Marianne never popped in there. No, she didn't. Okay.
There's 3 people it says we have on there.
There are 3?
3.
No, just you and me. Where do you see 3?
I have a thing down at the bottom, a little pop up at the very
Oh, it
bottom.
says 5 viewers. Yeah, I see that. Oh, okay. Well, there's 5 viewers. I'm showing 5 viewers at the bottom. I'm wondering if they're actually on. They may have the Google Plus. They have that window. Google. They may be. There's. This shows there's 7 watching, but
That's great.
yeah. So this we'll see. Okay. Um, Down here at the bottom, is that what you're seeing it?
Yeah, right below the screen.
Mine says 6.
Mine only has never got over 3.
Okay. All right. Well, it's okay. It's working anyway. So having we have an audience.
Right.
Um, Anyway, we've got no more questions. Let me just check texting here. I don't see any texting. If somebody sent a text that hasn't come in, you might want to try sending me an email to jreitz@mac.com, and we'll see what happens. Anyway, as far as other, do you go to this Mac News Network?
No, I don't. I wish. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I was going to show you my backup drive.
Oh.
Here it is.
Wait a minute. Here. Wait a minute. Let's get you on. Let's get you in here. Let me turn off this. Okay. All right. Go ahead. You're on.
Okay. Here is my backup drive.
Okay.
It's a gig and a half, and here the Time Machine operates on this FireWire connection, and the power is done with a USB port, and it works great.
You have to power it with the USB?
Yep.
You won't just do the. You won't just get. Normally, you can get power off of the FireWire.
Well, this right here is on that, and it's fast, and it works good.
Oh. Now, is that the one you got from Otherworld Computing?
Yes. Yes, you can see the Otherworld logo on there.
Yeah, because I have one just like that.
Works well. Back to you.
Okay, I'll show you the monster one.
Wow.
This is a RAID system. Comes with a key. Door opens up. And there's 4 drives in here.
Wow.
And the good thing about this is if one drive fails, all I have to do is pull this out, put a new drive in it, and stick it back in, and I don't miss a beat.
Wow.
If, let's say that there were 4 1-terabyte drives in there, I only get 3 terabytes of disk space, but the fourth drive is has the result of a calculation of what is on these 3, so that in any case, if any one of these drives fails, it's just a matter, there's enough between the other 3 drives to rebuild this, whatever one fails.
Wow.
Until you have a case like this where 2 drives fail. Then you have a problem. And unfortunately, the person that owns this didn't catch it until the one drive had a physical problem, and the other one, I think, just failed. May have had a glitch on it. But this is also an Otherworld.
Mm-hmm.
And this has FireWire 800, FireWire 800. FireWire 400, and then eSATA, which is very fast, but you don't have a way with a MacBook, normal MacBooks, to connect to that. Today they do make a Thunderbolt connector, Thunderbolt adapter, I should say, for going to eSATA, but it's very fast. I use it with my Mac Pro, my Mac Pro.
The adapters that I have for the for Lightning from the 30-pin adapter did not work. I went to the Apple store on Saturday afternoon, and the guys there tried several different things that they had, but I finally had to break down and buy the adapter for the VGA so I could use it in church on Sunday.
Oh,
Worked well. Now we need to
oh,
learn
good.
how to do the lights and positioning and all that stuff, but it works really well, and I'm going to use it a lot.
Cool. That'll work. Well, wait a minute. She still didn't get my invite. We'll try next time. It's 6. Also, we lost you for about 15 minutes. Finally restarted YouTube and you came back. I'll watch the rerun. So that was from Marianne. She's going to watch the rerun.
Okay, good.
So I think we're hour and 40 minutes into this. We've done our job for today, and we will look at doing this. I'm going to look at doing this locally here. I'll see if I can get some you and some other people to join in, because it'll be a good one, I'm sure. And see what, because I think this is kind of a cool thing.
I do too.
There's an advantage. Okay. Well, you stay warm.
Okay, we're at 81 right now.
Yeah, we're probably about the same here.
Okay, Jim, thank you. Very good program. I think we learned a lot.
Yeah, I think we did good. So I'll post the link to today's video online, and we'll see. I'll review it myself and see how it comes out.
Okay, I'll do the same.
All right.
Good night.
Take care. Signing out. Bye-bye.